Hey Libra, welcome to September 2019. I hope you guys are doing well. Let's go ahead and get into your reading. And pardon me if I cough and hack a little bit. I've been getting over a little bit of a throat cold, so it might be sounding like shredded wheat right now, but 'tis what it is. All right, show me energy present for the sign of Libra, please. Libra. So you have the moon popping out, Piscean, Cancerian energy. The moon deals with not knowing the direction you're going, being emotionally distressed, being emotionally confused in regard to the direction that you need to go, your head versus your heart. Sometimes it can talk about the communications and experiences that you are having with others may not be completely as they seem. There's certain levels that may be left out, information that's left out, feelings, intentions left out. Which is a form of deception. A lot of readers see this card as just deception and it's a bad card. You know, it can also be self-deception where we don't look at ourselves clearly, where we don't look at ourselves deeply enough and we hold ourselves back. Where are you holding yourself back, Libra? I'm sorry. For some reason, you might want to look at the Aquarian reading because some of that energy I'm feeling is applying to you with this. It's how to get out of some of those energies where we're stuck, how to look at ourselves in different ways where we recognize the limiting behaviors that we have and we basically sabotage a lot of our life because we don't allow ourselves to experience life in the multitude of ways it's available to be experienced. You know, we limit ourselves because we're afraid, or we don't want to let other people think differently or badly about us, or we're concerned with, you know, what society thinks, or, you know, it's just all of this deeply ingrained stuff that's very confusing, and it actually becomes just baggage. It's just baggage that we carry around, and, you know, some of us feel very passionately about that baggage. It's time to cut the cords with that. Hang on one sec. Show me more for Libra. So you have the Five of Swords popping out in reverse. So again, this kind of energy where if this is a personal energy where you're looking at yourself, I'll apply it to another person in a moment, but if you're looking at yourself in regard to this is something where we are being honest about how we self-sabotage, being honest in the places in our life where we limit our experiences because we're afraid. You know, whether that be we're afraid to experience something new, or it looks funny, it smells funny, it tastes funny, it's different, it's foreign, you know, all of these things are limitations. They limit our thought, they limit our expression in life. It's time to start waking those things up and opening the doors to let them out so we can have fresh air in and move forward towards a new experience. Life is about experiences. Sometimes stagnation is very heavy. Especially when we have energies where we're emotionally disrupted, where we aren't feeling our best, where we're not connecting to other people because we spend so much time within ourselves, you know, that self-sabotatory behavior. It's lying to yourself, you know, it's time to let that go. Here, in regard to a person, this may be a situation where you haven't been seeing eye to eye with somebody, they haven't been giving you the truth of the matter, and they communicate with you at this point. They communicate to dissolve this energy because they realize it's not helpful to their situation. They realize that it's more so them just grandstanding and being the one in charge when there really is nobody in charge. That's not a connection, that's a tyrannical experience, you know. Somebody here is releasing that energy. Show me more for Libra. You have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So good, you know, this is a time if we are doing some personal inventory of what blocks us in our life, you know, it's realizing and being honest with ourselves about what doesn't work anymore. What do I need to do to change my experience, my thoughts, my actions, my outward even, it doesn't have to just be internal. It's like, what am I doing outwardly? What kind of energy am I putting out to others? Am I constantly negative? Am I complaining about everything just for the sake of complaining? It's that kind of energy. It's like realizing things about ourselves that we don't like and actively stopping them, choosing to not subscribe to that type of mindset anymore, because it's a limitation. It's not a true expression of yourself. You're light beings, you're beautiful beings that are here to experience life in all of its multifaceted beauty. Access that. You don't have to stay stuck in a house being a housewife, unless you really want to, but bring some spice to it, bring some life to it, bring light, It doesn't have to be humdrum. I'm feeling like I'm talking to somebody here who's been experiencing life on a very monotonous, excruciatingly dull way. And not everybody's doing that, but where in ourselves, where in yourself are you experiencing something like that? It can be self-talk. It can be the way that we think about relationships, our lives, our happiness, what we're allowed to be happy about. Show me more. The Ace of Wands. A little cute lizard there. The Ace of Wands communicates energy where we are having ideas. We're flooded with inspiration. We are feeling creative. We want to get up and go and learn and experience new things about life, and it comes after we do some soul searching, some digging. What do I want to let go of? What's holding me back? It happens when we do that. It's a shot of inspiration, In regard to a person, this may be a situation where somebody is communicating with you or apologizing to you, being honest and open about their feelings, and it's relieving a burden of the problems that they bring in their life and they bring to other people. It's like that cyclical healing, It's very changing. It's very transformative. Now, also in regard to a person as well, this may be a situation where there's been too much confusion, too much disruption in regard to not being able to trust somebody. And it's too much to the point where you say, hey, listen, I love you, or I've cared about you. I really want the best for you. But this particular combination doesn't work for me because it often I find myself feeling down when I'm in it. So rather than do that and continue that, which is a form of self-sabotage, if you know you don't like it, yet you remain in it, I'm going to take myself out of this because it doesn't feel right. And I love you, and I wish you the best, and I wish you inspiration and light in your life, even if this is just a short break. But I'm going to let this go for now because it doesn't provide enough clarity for me. And right now I'm getting the clarity that I need from myself. I'm changing, and this isn't vibing with me. So that's the kind of energy that I'm feeling in regard to a person if you're having to let somebody go. But in the same breath, here's the Ace of Wands, a new beginning. When you cut that energy out, you free up a space where it gets to be filled by new experiences, new desires, new ways of thinking, creativity, expression, self-expression. I'm feeling a really huge need to kind of just say, Libra, express yourself. And I feel like I'm whispering because it's like I want to express myself, but what if somebody sees me? What if somebody hears me? What if I dance too loud and the neighbors say, bang, 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 knock it off down there? Like, what am I going to do if somebody sees me expressing myself and feeling differently about myself? Well, my true advice to that is fuck them. Fuck them. Maybe you do have to literally fuck them, but fuck them. If somebody is upset because you're vibing on what you're vibing on and you're experiencing something in your own way and you're happy, like, they have no right to take away that happiness. And if you give away your happiness to them, self-sabotatory energy, don't do that. You express yourself, and you express yourself well. There was another video that I read that I put up. I haven't given them out yet, but there's another video basically where I got this big picture in my mind. I was taken to a place where I was in a room where there was like walls, all concrete walls, and it was very bleak. But in front of me, there was this giant pile of dishes. And the point of this was to literally pick up a dish and smash it against the wall. And I had so many dishes that I could just smash them and smash them and smash them and keep on going. And what it was for was to release this energy. Each dish, it was like, hey, Mom, I fucking hated it when you did this to me. Dad, why did you treat me like this? All of these things that just cause these problematic situations that we hold in and that we carry and that we just keep experiencing over and over. Each dish represented one of those. And by smashing it, you get that energy out. You address it because you're speaking about it. You change that vibration within you because you've actively broken that cycle or that record, that loop. And then if you come back to that way of thinking, go break some more plates. The point is, it's an expression of purge. It's purging. This all has to happen by walking away from things that we once felt very connected to, once the things that we, held on to for so long, but we didn't realize they weren't working. It's like having to fine tune that understanding, having to move forward in a new way of expression and seeing things. Show me more for Libra. How do you want to live your life? So you have the Devil here, Capricorn energy. You have the King of Swords at the bottom of the deck for that. In regard to this Devil, I feel here, when we have this opportunity to change things, it's really important that we don't go right back into what we've come out of, which is tempting, because it's something that we know. It's something that we've been a part of for so long. And while it's very familiar and we know how to do it and do it well, it's also a connection that isn't healthy for us. It doesn't shine light. This is a very dark card. This is a very internal card. It's having to look at your own demons. In regard to a person, it's having to look at them for who they are and where they're at in their lives. We're all here to grow. We're all here to learn. You can't change somebody. Sometimes by removing yourself, though, from somebody's life, things do change. You take yourself out, you change things for the better for yourself, and not having you in their life sometimes helps people grow and look at themselves. This is all about looking at yourself at this point. This can talk about a fair amount of passion in regard to the direction that you're going in as well. This isn't always bad. This is just, if you look at this wand and you look at this one is burning. This is a torch. It's on fire. Sometimes we need to feel devilishly passionate about the things that we're moving into. Not always a bad card, but it can have connections to energies that we need to change. If we're feeling like we're stuck to a person where the connection is treacherous, where it's codependent, where we're, losing sight of ourselves because we give over our power, or we want to be seen a certain way, so we're acting a certain way with certain people. Be careful about that too. The Devil is a very transformative card. It's about comfort and abusive comfort, and sometimes if we're in comfort zones, that becomes abusive to ourselves. Like, we need to step out of our comfort zones. This is a big one about that. And I feel you have the opportunity here to change that, but you have to really look at how you are expressing yourself and changing your thoughts. Don't stay stuck. That King of Swords at the bottom of the deck was essentially an energy where we have to utilize our logic, our absolute wonderful thought process in regard to how to not be emotionally entangled and ensnared in situations that pull at our heart, that pull at our emotions, that keep us feeling stuck. It's about being concrete in our decision making, being incredibly decisive and saying, hey, no, I'm done. This doesn't work. Thank you for these lessons. I've had plenty of them. And I think I know now what to do and what not to do. Show me more for Libra. Awesome. The Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I love this card in reverse. I don't feel that it means bad luck. And, a lot of tarot readers are like, oh no, bad luck. You're not going to get your wish. Are you fucking kidding me? How often do you get your wish? Seriously. You're not going to get your wish. Blow it out your ass. You get your wish all the time. The things that you think about are constantly in your life because you're constantly thinking about them. You're worrying about them. These things are present in your life because you give them energy. You are getting your wish. You're getting your wish all the time. This is about cycles and breaking them. If you have connections which are codependent, if you have connections to people which are codependent, toxic, very strong connections as well, it's time to really start looking at these. It's starting to look at how we are affected by them, how our balance is thrown off. Am I staying with this person for lust? Am I staying with this person for money? Am I staying with this person because it's better than being alone? I'd rather have a warm body next to me than a cold pillow or an empty spot. Like, what is that? Like, is there true love there? Is there connection there? Or is it just a convenience? Because in the end, that's not very convenient. That goes against truth. You guys are very much about truth. You're the truth bringers. So it's time to start acting like that, especially in regard to yourself. At the bottom of the deck for everything, you have the Two of Pentacles. It communicates an energy of balance, juggling. And I say here juggling, I don't mean juggling two people. I mean juggling the halves of ourselves, the part that wants to stay within this type of stagnancy and it's comfortable over here. And I don't really know if I can do those things because that would require me to have to challenge myself and look at myself and, that's too much. I think I'm going to stay over here and just say meh. And then the other part of you, which is like, hey, wait a minute, fuck that shit. I have the opportunity to really step within myself and break myself open. I get to scare myself. I get to look at myself. I get to be terrified of my potential. It's being terrified of your potential in a completely different way. In this aspect, it's not moving forward. It's just holding everything at bay. Here, it's being terrified of your potential because you're actually stepping into that potential and you don't know about it yet, but it's happening. You have choices here. There's balance here. There's decisions. Where are you tied down? Where are you disconnected? Where do you need to release yourself from bonds that no longer serve you? Whether this be people, whether this be thoughts and emotional disruption, where do you need to do that? Because this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, like I said, I love seeing it in reverse, but it's an energy where we are closing out cycles, where we have recognized the things that we've experienced over and over and over again. And we say, hey, listen, oh shit, that does not work for me anymore. It doesn't. And I've gotten to the point where I can say, oh my God, I can actually step away from that because I'm giving myself the opportunity for different things to come into my life. I'm seeing these issues that I've held so closely in their totality, and I'm able to pull myself away. I'm able to walk away because I have the opportunity for something completely different. I urge you, Libra, to go and experience new things. Go to museums, look at historical situations, look at things of history, go to museums and go to the different departments, go through history. I'm feeling a huge thing of history here. I feel like some of you are going to be triggered by certain artwork. Some of you are going to be triggered by certain textures of things, the way things look, the way things were made thousands of years ago. I keep feeling like this is going to bring you back to a sense of self for some reason, Libra. And it's necessary. It's necessary to shake this up. It's necessary to see things, how things were done times ago, before you were born. It's important to see how life was when we weren't so confused. I think that there's an energy here for, it's like the need for simplicity. It's the need for that type of reality when we take ourselves out of this social media experience and all of these, physical issues and, these limitations because, it changes things. It changes things. It gives you the opportunity to see things in a fresh way, in a different light. Expose yourself to things that are different to you, things that you wouldn't normally watch, go on YouTube, go down the bunny trail, literally, like find something that you're curious about and type it in and go, let it be a learning experience. This is all about school. This is about learning. This is about knowledge. This is about higher awareness of the self. You're here to change that within yourself. You're here to make the effort, Libra. Let's clarify this reading. Show me the moon for Libra. You have the Knight of Cups for the Moon. So in regard to the Knight of Cups and the Moon, we have the Moon in the background here too. The Knight of Cups and the Moon is somebody who, in a way, I'm feeling this in the reversed energy. He's somebody who is very good at telling ourselves like deception, telling ourselves lies about things, not being 100% honest, because we know it would limit us. We know it would keep us distracted. And that's the intention, you know. I'll read it upright as well. But that's what I'm initially feeling from this. It's somebody who is uncertain about the direction or the path that they want to go in, and they're having a hard time expressing that to themselves and to others. But it starts first within the self. In regard to the Moon and the Knight of Cups upright, this is somebody who maybe has had a very hard time expressing their emotions because they feel so clouded within them. I still think that this applies to you, Libra. I don't know if this is necessarily just a person that you're dealing with, but I feel that this is more so an energy of yourself. But when we have to look at ourselves, when we open up this energy, we free ourselves from these limitations. You know, again, I feel with the Knight of Cups here too, I feel a very big energy to talk about creativity and self-expression through your creativity. This is again why I'm saying go to like these museums, go to situations where there's art around you, view these things, look at these things in different ways. There's some reason it's going to spark something. There needs to be an influx of creativity within your life, whether that be painting, paper mache, sculpting, you know, making a sandcastle, like whatever you feel inspired to do that is brought to life with your hands, you are creating. You're stepping into the role of a creator. There's something about that is very important here. You need to begin to create, Libra. There's too much stagnation, I feel, that's been held on in your situation, whether that be in the situation of a previous person where there hasn't been enough honesty, whatever it may be. I think it's very important, though, for you to start to recognize where you need to move from this and not be complacent, not stand in your own power and in your own way because you're afraid of your own feelings. Okay, it's time to move things forward and be the magician. This is about learning from your lessons, learning from your life experience. Show me the Five of Swords in reverse for Libra. So you have the Three of Pentacles here and the Queen of Swords. The Three of Pentacles, you know, in regard to, now let's get back to in regard to this person. I know this is a jumpy video, but I'm going to read this like this because this is how I'm feeling it. In regard to a person, if there hasn't been enough honesty or if they've been very dismissive with you in the past, they may feel guilty about it. They may want to communicate their feelings, their emotions about things, and it may be difficult for them to do so. But, you know, how much can you work with that? How much can you truly work with that? For the Three of Pentacles to be showing up with the Queen of Swords, this is somebody who, Libra, now hear you, or Aquarius, Gemini, who basically is like, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I feel you, but I feel like I don't need to pay attention to that. I feel like I've got other things to do, and I appreciate your honesty, but I feel something different here, and it has nothing to do with you. It's like I get to embark on a new adventure, and you've been helpful in getting me there, but I don't need to see you on the way with me. Show me the Seven of Pentacles here for Libra. And again, that doesn't just have to be a person. Again, it's this energy of leaving things in the past that don't apply to us any longer, things that restrict us, things that hurt us, things that hold us and leave us unaccountable for our actions and our potential. So now you have the Chariot. Excellent. And you have the King of Swords. So, very cool. Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Again, if you're dealing with communication with a person, this is very blunt, honest communication. It's not always going to be pretty. It's very real. It's very blunt, like I said, and it can be hard to hear. You know, sometimes when people are sensitive, it's hard to hear. Sometimes when we are personally sensitive, giving ourselves the truth about our situations in our lives and having to look at ourselves deeply is very sensitive material. We don't often want to do that because it causes us to go within. A lot of Libras like to be very cerebral. You need to get inside of yourself and dig around. It's time to change things. For the King and Queen of Swords to be popping up here, sure, you could be dealing with another air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, but what I'm feeling here is that you have now the opportunity to balance out your situation, balance yourself out. This is about balance here. This is about being honest with yourself, having truthful conversations with yourself, clarity within your own situation, clarity in regard to the things that hold you back. What holds you back? What frees you up? What type of honesty frees you up? You know, sure, you could be dealing with somebody else, but I feel it's twofold. It's truth speaking, digging to the bottom of things to be very honest in cutting what we need to cut away. Show me the Ace of Wands. So for the Ace of Wands, hang on one second. You have the Four of Swords for the Ace of Wands and the Queen of Cups. So the Ace of Wands in regard to this situation, like I said, movement forward, change, inspiration. The Four of Wands, the Four of Swords is a card where we take time to process. We step away from situations to process our information, process our internal makeup, process what's going on within ourselves in regard to whatever we're dealing with. If we have a situation where we've been at odds with somebody for a long time and there hasn't been enough honesty and communication, this could also be just a very frank and honest communication between the two of you. It's processing all of that. You know, it's being genuine about it, and also on your mind, being very clear about the direction you do want to go in, the things you do want to experience. The Queen of Cups is somebody who's absolutely compassionate. She's loving, she's nurturing, she cares. She wants the people in her experience and the people that are around her to feel welcome, to feel loved, to feel heard, to feel nurtured. Sometimes by turning our back on situations that are problematic like that, we show compassion to a person, you know, because it doesn't necessarily require us to be a catalyst any longer. And when we do that also, we show compassion to ourselves. You could be dealing with a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but I feel here that there's an energy where we're dealing with compassion with ourselves. Some of you also, by taking yourself away from this, may end up meeting a water sign that is very comforting, very easy to get to know, very welcoming, very warm. And I say, take it slow. Take it slow. Don't let the connection just be about sex, you know. Take it slow. Consider the person, the new person, for their potentials, their fears. What are they going through? You know, are they coming out of a dark space like us? Is it a replay of this, or is it somebody who I can actually trust? Oftentimes this is a very trustworthy person. They see through you. They see through the pain, you know, and they're there to help. Show me the Devil for Libra. The Wheel of Fortune. You got it here twice. So yeah, again, this repeat energy for you, with the Magician at the bottom of the deck again. With the Devil here and the Wheel of Fortune, kind of like I said, where I said I really appreciate this card being in reverse. Here you have the opportunity to essentially continue the cycle, continue being connected to problematic people. You know, if you notice that this water sign, if you end up meeting a water sign in the future, or you might have dealt with this and now you're meeting, or you're in a situation with a water sign, where are the connections? Where is this toxic energy? And if you are dealing with somebody new, be sure to not reconnect to these energies and apply your past negative experiences onto this. This is a call for change. This is a call for not doing things the way that you're used to doing things. Overhaul, rehaul, redo, or not redo. I don't mean by that. I don't mean reconciliation. That's not what I mean. It's a change in how you see your experience and what you bring to your new experiences. Don't let your new experiences be clouded by passion. This is very much a passionate combination. It's not a bad combination. It's just a powerhouse for lust, You know, some of you may need to have that on your mind when you get involved with this potential water sign in the future. Some of you may need to recognize if this is for you, or if this is the person that you're with now, we're going to need to recognize that it needs to not just be about sex. It needs to be about, okay, again, history, the history of the person, the experience of the human being in an entirety. Like, it's about the person. It's not what you can get from the person. It's not what you can experience in bed. It's not, just hot and heavy. Even if it is hot and heavy, see the person as a human being. See them for who they are and what they are, and their problems and their sadness and their magnificence and their beautiful bodies, or whatever it is that you're absolutely enjoying about this person. See them for all of it and try to look at it through the lens of compassion. You don't want to perpetuate these cycles. You don't want to continue these cycles, Libra. It's toxic. It doesn't provide change. Here you have the opportunity for change, movement, forward thinking, creativity, passion. But here with this Four of Swords, we're having to really look again in regard to, am I being triggered here by my previous feelings in regard to this situation with a person? This could be the same person. This is a general reading for thousands of people. It may be different for each person. It will be. But basically what I'm feeling is we need to be very conscious about how we look at our toxic connections, our codependencies, the things that we, allow ourselves to do from fear, our limitations, being limited by thinking people are for sex, or, sex addiction. Careful about that. Because it's time to manifest new things. It's time to change things in the direction that you actually want them to go, and you have the opportunity to do that. But it really requires you to look at yourself and look at situations that you've been in and, think of them fondly. Even if they sucked, think of them fondly. Think of how they've gotten you here. Think of how they've changed your perception, your experience, your understanding of what love and life means. Your connections to people. How has it changed? Show me the Wheel of Fortune in reverse for Libra. I feel that these are supposed to be upright. I will read them in reverse as well. Some of you, this energy, you may be letting go of a Taurus, and that is freed up energy. Some of you, this is literally letting go of problems within yourself where you are feeling. The Empress in reverse is a huge card of lack. It's not feeling like you're up for the challenge. It's not feeling like you can look within yourself. It's not feeling abundant. It's feeling lower than the low. It's feeling like you don't amount to shit. It's riding with your fears, in a torrent of pain and confusion, and just letting it go and like succumbing to that. Be careful about that energy. Here, where we're letting this go, you're blowing the top off of this energy with the Two of Swords in reverse. This is about communication. It's about new understanding. It's about processing that understanding, and it's letting it go. This is stagnancy. Upright, this is a card for stagnancy here. I guess they are supposed to be in reverse. Here, I think upright, we have this energy where when we cut these things off, these traumatic experiences that we keep delving into, these connections of just purely lust, or we don't regard ourselves, we keep going back to problems or situations where we, tie into these emotional disruptions. Like, it keeps us stagnant. Here, we're abundant. By closing those things out, we turn this upright. And you know what? I do want to say, I'm going to see this as a positive energy because that's what it feels like. I feel this is stubborn obstinance, or maybe not obstinance, but stubbornness in a way. And I think this is more so in regard to putting yourself first, but also the people that, like, I don't want to say oppose you, because that almost seems like you have enemies or something like that. And it's not the type of energy I hope that you're feeling, because you have to stay in that energy. To have an enemy, you have to be an enemy. There's no point in it. Here, though, it's a healthy, if you need to have a stalemate with somebody, that can be very healthy. It shows personal strength. It shows being selfish in a healthy way, Sometimes when we shut down and we don't continue to communicate with people, that sends a huge message. It puts you in this Empress energy. It helps shine light on your wisdom and moves you forward. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Fool. So new opportunities, new beginnings. Again, the Fool happens when we learn from our experiences. We come from dark places and painful experiences, and we apply them to what we have in our new self, in our new life. What are you applying now? What is it that you need to share with the world? What is it that you need to share with yourself? What new opportunities are you going to experience? Do things that bring you balance. Go to a pottery class, learn about pottery, again, a heavy stream of things that require you to be creative, a stream of things that require you to use your hands, where you get to be tactile with things. You get to touch the earth. You get to touch what you're doing, carpentry, whittling, painting, massage therapy. Some of you may want to go into school for massage therapy, where you can connect with other things, I feel that that's going to be very helpful in your transformation, because it lets you be more on the physical self. It lets you tune into your feelings versus being just in a cerebral space. And I know not all of you live in a cerebral space, but some of you do. And I think that this is really indicative of a time where we need to look at that and start to come out of that and heal ourselves and dig deep in the things that don't feel good and bring light to them. So let's go ahead and get a Nocturna. And we'll be done. Show me energy present for the sign of Libra, please. Show me Libra. What does Libra need to see? So you have dusk. Duality, cycles, beginning. I think it fell on the Wheel of Fortunes. It's funny. The Dusk card, along with her sister card Dawn, represent the concept of duality and the cyclical nature of day and night. Dusk is considered the time right before sunset, when darkness descends from the sky and the sun touches the horizon. During this time, nocturnal creatures start to emerge from their sleep. Where I live, bats can be seen flying around, their dark silhouettes standing out against the blazing sky. For this card, I decided to create a picturesque sunset typically seen on the West Coast or Hawaii, where I live and frequently visit. Watching the sun set against the ocean gives me a sense of departure as the light leaves these lands for other horizons. It's time to leave the darkness that you've been in and move towards the light, move towards new horizons and experiences, Libra. I hope this reading was helpful for you. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you choose to. And if you choose to donate, there's a link in the description box below. And I will see you in a few weeks. I hope that this was helpful for you. I love you guys. Take care. Bye, Libra.